It's Monday, June 15th. In the headlines, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck wants to revisit transition to Jamaica becoming a republic. In business news, Scotiabank to delist from Jamaica Stock Exchange. Regionally, UK-Caribbean ties celebrated as a Commonwealth summit approaches. And in sports, we have a FIFA 2026 World Cup update. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Business operators across the corporate area have another opportunity to settle outstanding signage fees. This as the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation intensifies efforts to improve compliance with signage regulations. During the last municipal council meeting, Kingston's Mayor Andrew Swaby announced the rollout of a series of mobile payment outstations and public education initiatives. The aim is to increase awareness of signage requirements and make it easier for businesses to regularize their status.
Staff from the corporation will be available to answer questions, provide guidance on permit and approval, receive applications, and conduct preliminary inspections where required.
The mayor notes that businesses will also be able to settle outstanding signage fees during the engagements. Mobile outstations will be established in plazas and commercial centers throughout the municipality, bringing the compliance process directly to business operators.
We therefore continue to encourage all entities displaying signs to the public, whether on private or public land, to engage the corporation and take necessary steps to regularize.
He added that the initiative demonstrates the corporation's commitment to education, accessibility, and voluntary compliance before stronger enforcement measures are implemented. The debate over Jamaica's transition to a republic has resurfaced in Parliament. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is renewing calls for Jamaica to complete its transition to a republic, urging members of Parliament to revisit legislation aimed at removing the British monarch as head of state. During his contribution to the sectoral debate, Minister Chuck said the country should move forward without delay while seeking broad political consensus on constitutional reform.
Once again, Madam Speaker, for Jamaica's sake, let us look at the bill and see how it can be amended if necessary and modified so that this Parliament, at the earliest possible time, can debate and remove the monarch. We need to become a republic. There is no need to delay this process.
He says Jamaicans will also have a say in determining the country's final appellate court through a series of constitutional town hall meetings.
The final appellate court will come to Jamaica, but it is a matter that we want to take to the people in further constitutional town hall meetings.
Yes.
You see, Madam Speaker, the final appellate court has many possibilities. We can go the route of Hong Kong, where the final appellate court consists of international judges and Hong Kong judges, and they sit as the final appellate court. I don't mind if the final appellate court in Jamaica, that 5 Caribbean court judges sit, but it must be a Jamaican final court. Yes.
The minister is also calling for bipartisan support, inviting opposition leader Mark Golding to resume discussions on constitutional reform.
We can do a fair amount of piecemeal, putting in the Electoral Commissioner of Jamaica as a part of it, the public defender, and other pieces. But without the consensus of this Parliament, it doesn't make sense. But if we're not going to go and do a process, we may well have to do it. because we have bills there to put in the Electoral Commission and the Public Defender as a part of the Constitution. But we want it to be a consensus of this Parliament.
Amen. Meanwhile, the ministry continues its public education campaign on the Constitution, distributing hundreds of consolidated copies across the island.
As part of our sustained legal education efforts, we distributed more than 400 Jamaican branded consolidated copies of the Constitution, and I know my Minister of State was at UTEC, UWI distributing Constitution and engaging in public education. Madam Speaker, we look forward to a renewed effort to get our Constitution reflecting what we want.
Minister Chuck says the constitutional reform remains a priority and is encouraging lawmakers to work together to advance the process. Health and Wellness Ministry is rolling out a series of initiatives aimed at strengthening support for Jamaica's growing aging population through a community-based healthcare approach. Speaking at the latest post-cabinet press briefing, Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the measures form part of the government's community-arranged response efforts, CARE agenda, and broader social determinants of health framework, which place emphasis on prevention and community care. Dr. Tufton notes that Jamaica's aging population is expected to surpass 500,000 people within the next 2 decades, underscoring the need for expanded services and support systems. Among the key initiatives is a caregiver training program being led by Dr. Denise Eldemire Shearer and the team at the Mona Aging and Wellness Center.
The approach here in the first instance is to train unpaid caregivers. I want this to register. There are about 100 to 150,000 Jamaicans in Jamaica who are aunties, uncles, cousins, neighbors, church brother, church sister who look after their neighbor.
The ministry also plans to issue a nationwide call through faith-based and community organizations for persons interested in participating in the online caregiver training program.
We're training trainers first, and in due course, we're going to be issuing a call across the country through the faith-based organizations and others to participate in these online training. I should mention we're coordinating with the Ministry of Education to use their facilities, whether Heart or schools. I want to thank the Minister. She has been extremely supportive of the effort. And we will be coming to a location near you.
In addition, pilot geriatric clinics are to be established in St. Anne and St. Catherine. The facilities will facilitate age-friendly infrastructure and healthcare professionals trained in geriatric care to better meet the needs of older patients. Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the development shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. Scotiabank Canada has announced plans to acquire all outstanding shares of Scotia Group Jamaica that it does not already own, in a move that would see the company become a wholly owned private entity. The proposal forms part of Scotiabank's strategy to improve capital and operational efficiency across its regional operations. The transaction will be carried out through a court-approved scheme of arrangement under Jamaica's Companies Act. A meeting of minority shareholders is expected to be held in the coming months to consider and vote on the proposal. If approved, the deal is expected to be completed in the fourth quarter of this year, subject to court approval and other customary conditions. Following completion of the transaction, Scotia Group Jamaica shares are expected to to be delisted from the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Scotiabank says the total cash consideration being offered to minority shareholders is approximately Canadian $500 million. Currently, the share price of Scotiabank on the Toronto Stock Exchange is 117 Canadian dollars, while in Jamaica it trades for the equivalent of 54 cents Canadian. The Realtors Association of Jamaica Multiple Listing Service shows that there was 100 billion Jamaican dollars in property sales in 2025, despite the economic fallout triggered by the impact of Hurricane Melissa. The parishes of St. Andrews, St. Anne, and St. Catherine accounted for $99.3 billion over the period. The multiple listing service data is compiled from transaction reports submitted by approximately 2,000 registered realtors island-wide. The figures do not include direct developer sales or private transactions outside the MLS system. What we are seeing is a dual market dynamic, said Roger Allen, second vice president of the Realtors Association and chair of the MLS committee. He continues, on one hand, we have high volume urban markets. On the other hand, high value tourism driven parishes generating strong returns with fewer transactions. They offered some parish performance highlights for 2025. In St. Andrew, there was 1,727 properties sold, valued at $41.17 billion. St. Anne had $27.36 billion, fueled by strong tourism-related demand. For St. Catherine, $11.71 billion worth of transactions was sold from 700 transactions, reflecting major residential expansion. In Westmoreland, $6.8 billion from just 52 high-value transactions happened. In St. Mary, $3.4 billion worth of real estate was sold. Manchester, $2.3 billion, supported by steady residential activity. And St. Thomas had $96.2 million worth of property sold, which is the weakest performing parish in 2025. For the trading period of June 12, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Ken Tire Holdings Jamaica Limited with 281,303,905 units, representing 91.80% of market sales activity. Trans Jamaica Highway Limited with 7,004,954 units, representing 2.29% of market sales activities. Innovative Energy Group Limited with 5,454,166 units, representing 1.78% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in energy, distribution, and transportation plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for June 12, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $157.27 and buying at $159.20. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by $1.50 transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $114.34 and was bought for $112.78. The British pound had continued volatility, which offered short-term trading opportunities, $6.58 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $213.52 and was bought for $206.94. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, in the summer, traveling is what we want to do. And so if you match your credit report, your credit score, and your credit card, then your travel plan becomes real every time you go to the supermarket, the gas station, you are now swiping the card to fund your dream vacation. And if you haven't already planned for this year, now you know you can talk to your banker and have that opportunity for 2027. For our funded and focused feature, being a business owner is completely different from being strong in your technical competency. So if you have, for example, a daycare and you give the very best care to your children under your remit, it's not the same as being the business owner. A business owner is a person that does compliance, talks to the bank, makes sure the business is liquid. Now, if you're able to do both, kudos to you. But in this funded and focused feature, we are always going to recommend that you work with somebody who understands business operations so that you can do what you do best, which is deliver the service. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Barbados joined other Commonwealth nations in celebrating the official birthday of King Charles III, with the British High Commissioner using the occasion to highlight the strong partnership between the United Kingdom and the Caribbean, and the region's influential role within the Commonwealth. The envoy also pointed to the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Antigua and Barbuda as a major milestone for the Caribbean.
The celebrations marked a significant occasion not only to honour the monarch, but also to reaffirm the strong bonds between the United Kingdom and the Caribbean region. The High Commissioner highlighted the ongoing contributions and active participations of Caribbean nations in fostering collaboration, development and unity across the Commonwealth.
It is a modern dynamic partnership in which Caribbean countries continue to play a leading and influential role. And importantly, we keep showing up for one another. Later this year, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting will take place in Antigua and Barbuda, a proud moment for the Caribbean, an important milestone for the wider Commonwealth family. It will focus on the issues that matter most to our citizens, from climate resilience to young people, to sustainable investment, and to building infrastructure and opportunities for future careers.
Recognising the presence of past and present sporting greats, including former Barbados and West Indies pacer Sylvester Hall, the British envoy drew attention to the sporting theme of the evening and told the ceremony, "Sports inspires as much as it humbles."
Glasgow 2026 represents a bold new chapter, a more sustainable, inclusive and community-driven model that reflects the values of the modern Commonwealth. Sport remains one of the most powerful threads connecting all of our countries across the Commonwealth and beyond. It brings people together, it inspires, and occasionally, if you're an England or a West Indies cricket fan, it humbles. But again, we have to stay positive. Sport is vital in bringing together communities, creating opportunity, and fostering discipline and teamwork, values that are as important in the modern world as they ever have been.
The High Commissioner also drew attention to the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Governments Conference, scheduled to take place in Antigua and Barbuda. He called it a defining moment for the Caribbean.
It will focus on the issues that matter most to our citizens, from climate resilience to young people, to sustainable investment, and to building infrastructure and opportunities for future careers. And those are the issues that will shape all of our futures, and in particular, the Commonwealth's.
According to the High Commissioner, collaboration, partnerships and teamwork underpins the modern relationship between Barbados, the Caribbean and the Commonwealth. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Primary school students in Tobago recently stepped into the shoes of lawmakers, debating whether continuous digital training for teachers should be part of the education curriculum. The spirited exchange formed part of a mock assembly legislature exercise, giving students a first-hand look at parliamentary debate while tackling one of education's most pressing issues. Here's TTT News' Candice Jackson with the story.
Should the education curriculum facilitate continuous digital training for teachers to better prepare Tobago's children for success in the modern world? That was a question for debate amongst primary school students as they got to explore what it is like to be a part of the Assembly legislature. The students did not disappoint. Starting off strong with arguments in favor of the motion was Owen Benoit in the role of Chief Secretary.
That we need strong digital skills to succeed. That is why Tobago must act now. Our children should not simply watch the future happen, they should be prepared to lead it. Technology in schools can make learning more exciting, interactive, and effective.
His side followed him with persuasive arguments as well.
Those opposites believe we should fair technology in schools. I say no. Technology can help us be our most creative selves.
Technology, therefore, should be used in the classroom, but with clear guidelines. We should not prevent young minds from having the tools they need to adapt and succeed in our constantly changing world.
Meanwhile, those of the minority side offered compelling arguments against the motion.
Students may become too reliant on the technology, causing them to struggle in tests where technology is strictly forbidden. Relying more and more on AI will reduce the teacher-to-student interactions and relationships, taking away from the social, emotional aspects of learning.
It also increases mental health issues through sleep disruption, screen addiction, and anxiety. This will all lead to a mentally unstable world. When these same people are positioned in the workplace, it can be catastrophic.
After a lively exchange of arguments, the motion was passed. At the end of the debate, the students were awarded prizes based on their performance. However, the debate showed a promising future for Tobago's aspiring politicians. Candice Jackson, TTT News.
In sports, we begin with football. On Sunday, Germany opened their 2026 FIFA World Cup Group E campaign in a dominant fashion with a 7-1 demolition of Curaçao in Houston, recording one of the tournament's biggest wins so far. Ivory Coast secured a dramatic 1-0 victory over Ecuador thanks to a stoppage time winner from Armad Diallo. The Netherlands and Japan played to a thrilling 2-2 draw. Meanwhile, Sweden cruised to a commanding 5-1 victory over Tunisia. Earlier, Australia made a winning start in Group D with a triumphant 2-0 win over Turkey, despite facing heavy pressure throughout the contest. Qatar earned a stunning point in their World Cup opener on Saturday, scoring deep in stoppage time to grab a 1-1 draw with Switzerland. The result leaves all 4 teams in Group B tied after 1 game apiece. TTT Live's Nasira Mohammed has the details.
Switzerland controlled their FIFA 2026 World Cup clash with 2022 host Qatar for nearly 90 minutes, dominating shots and possession, and grabbed the lead in the 17th minute on a Bril Embolo penalty, the first awarded at this tournament. But Qatar refused to fold. In the 94th minute, Boalem Khouki rose at the edge of the box and headed home across to beat Swiss keeper and spark wild celebrations. The draw earns Qatar their first ever points at a World Cup. They head to Vancouver to face Canada on Thursday, while Switzerland turned their attention to Bosnia and Herzegovina. And in Group D action on Friday night, co-hosts the United States kicked off their World Cup with a statement, a 4-1 rout of Paraguay in Los Angeles. Folarin Balogun struck twice, becoming only the second American to ever score more than once at a World Cup. An own goal got the hosts going early, And Giovanni Reina sealed it in style with the last kick of the night. Nasira Mohammed, TTT Sport.
In cricket, Shemaine Campbell produced an innings for the ages in Southampton on unbeaten 90 to power the West Indies to a stunning 7-wicket win over defending champions New Zealand at the Women's T20 World Cup.
New Zealand were put into bat by the West Indies in both teams' opening match of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup, and the defending champions raced out of the blocks, Izzy Gaze and Georgia Plymouth sharing a 49-run opening stand. But Aliyah Alain turned the innings on its head, the seamer claiming 4 wickets, including that of White Ferns captain Amelia Kerr for just 5 on her 100th T20 international appearance. Maddie Green's late 35 lifted the White Ferns to a competitive 162. The West Indies chase began nervously. Kiana Joseph ran out early, but Shemaine Campbell had other ideas. Reprieved by missed stumpings and multiple dropped catches, New Zealand were made to pay. Campbell brought up her maiden T20 International 50 with back-to-back sixes, then carried her side home, finishing on 90 not out from 62 deliveries, with 3 sixes and 7 fours. The winning run came with just 1 ball to spare. Nasira Mohammed, TTT Sport.
And that's the news on PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.